whether you just broke up out of a relationship or your best friend just stabbed you in the back, regardless of the point, at the end of the day, you have to heal and you need to hop around. Nobody talks about really the part of healing. I'm pretty sure quite all of us has went through one thing or 80 things throughout our whole lifetime, but a lot of us don't really know the correct ways on how to heal and then how to actually get around with healing and actually broaden your horizons and get out of that constricted mindset. With healing, it's more so not a destination that you're trying to get to. It's more so of a journey that you have to endure and just accept being on. Basically, the definition of heal is to make something sound or healthy again, which means you was already healed before it happened, but now you're trying to get back to your state of being before whatever had happened. Right or wrong. So since we basically got down to the point of what healing is, with that being said, since we was already in a version of not necessarily healed, but we was just in our very authentic state of being, since something happened to us that made us feel away. Unfortunately, we are acting erratically because we didn't heal from those pains. So with that being said, as you get older, a lot of the pain and a lot of that healing that you never really worked with when you were 7, by the time you get 27, it festered into like a big ball of something. And then like, if you let it go until you're 37, it could be 10 times worse, because whatever you're dealing with from the ages from 7, 17, 27, now you're gonna bring it to 37, going into your 40s, and you're almost halfway done with life. So it's like, the quicker that you're able to heal, accept, and move on, the better you will be in your life. Also, healing comes in different forms. I couldn't really understand the healing part because I just thought it was a destination, not necessarily taking into consideration that it wasn't a destination that I'm trying to get to. It's more so a state of being that I'm trying to become again. I realized once I heal, I feel very authentic, not childlike, but I feel like I am my child self again, very open, expressive, and free, because I've healed and I'm not with that pain anymore. The first thing to actually healing is to actually set boundaries. You need to set boundaries because this is quite useful in your life, because say somebody was to do something that you don't like, instead of you just harboring it in and you let it fester until, like I say, you was 27, now you will have a boundary up to where they can't cross it at all. So now it'll prevent your feelings from ever having to get broke again. It'll prevent you from ever having to have that heartbreak in or going through that pain, having to go through that wishy-washy stage with people. Since you already have that barrier or that boundary up, can't nobody really knock it down. And once somebody feels as though it's okay to walk over that boundary, at that point, now it's time for them to go, because they're not considering you, nor they're not considering your respect or your boundaries. Once somebody doesn't have respect for you, at that point, there's really no more to that relationship. Respect and trust is probably the two main things that you definitely need in any relationship, and once respect is gone, it's like you're gone too. The second thing that you need to do, you need to accept where you at. It is what it is. It happened. It's fine though. At the end of the day, you let that happen because you didn't understand what was happening. But now that you have a sense of direction, you have a sense of understanding, because you don't want to go through that no more, because of the boundaries that you put up, you're just gonna have to accept where you at and just move on. It's harder to do than to actually say off the strength, because for me to just say it, it was really easy. For me to actually do it, it was really freaking hard. Off the strength, because I'm trying to accept something that I didn't have to accept. Because of that, it kind of made accepting a little bit harder. But if you're just accept whatever is okay or whatever you don't like about yourself and you move on, you'll be able to heal. 1, 2, if you're able to accept yourself, can't nobody use your downfalls about yourself against you, because you already accepted it. So it's like you trying to play me, you just play it yourself, because I already know that's wrong. But my thing is, I wear it. That's why you gotta say something about it, because you gotta bring me down, because I wear it so well. Once you start accepting things, can't nobody really start saying a lot of things to you, because you're in your skin and you know your skin. Can't nobody change you, for real, for real. The third thing you need to do to start healing, you need to get some money. Girl, you was broke, and or you had a broke mentality, and or you just didn't know, like I said. So basically, you need to mentally and physically get some money. Mentally get some money, as in either cultivate a new way to make money, find different ways to make money, and also make your mind wealthy. This is the time where you can actually go from one person to the next because you put boundaries, because you're healing and you're trying different things and you're accepting where you're at. Once you actually start to get more money and you get to set money aside, you get to save it, and you get to actually put yourself in a different predicament, now you get to experience life on a different plateau, which means you won't come across people that are across that boundary. So there really wouldn't be so much acceptance. It'll be just straight moving on. The more money that you have, it's not the tangible money, but the energy that you had to get the money, the better opportunities and possibilities that'll be in your life. You get more money, it'll open up more doors, yes, but if you learn how to just be wealthy with your mind too, it'll open up a whole new space for you. Instead of you feeling like you always have to heal, instead of you feeling like you always gotta have a boundary, a barrier up, if you actually raise your tax bracket and if you actually elevate yourself unto the next degree, you won't even come across people that you have to put your boundary up. If anything, you might come across people where you be like, oh, I could strengthen this boundary, or I didn't even know that was a boundary to have. So once you come across around different people, you'll be able to realize like, oh shoot, maybe I do need to do this. Maybe I was really right. We're gonna stick to it. The first thing you need to do, you need to upgrade your mental. There is no way that if you are healing from whatever happened, you should still be in that same position. You should not still be in that same position. If you're still in that same position, unfortunately, that just means that you're not serious about your healing. So to eradicate all of that while you're in your healing stage, definitely get your mental up, but also get your physical up. You don't want to attract the same people that you was attracting before that made you have to heal. You know what I'm trying to say? So with that being said, that means you kind of have to change who you are to attract different people, so you don't have to put that barrier up. With that being said, unfortunately, sometimes that is your physique. So when you take care of yourself and you actually eat better, you don't even gotta do a full workout, but at least you're going for a walk and you can actually see you doing small progress, and you're doing small steps to get to the next level, to get to the next step. You'll then realize that it wasn't so much about the physique, but it was about the confidence that you get with the physique. Depending on the physique that you have, depends on the confidence levels that you have. People don't really understand that. You could be big and you could have confidence, or you could be skinny, but confidence is all about how well you take care of your body and how well you love your body. Once you start really to love your body and you start taking care of your body will 100% start taking care of you, and it'll start loving you back. But you need to start getting your mental and your physical back. I don't care if you just be at home doing a home workout off of YouTube. That's usually what I do. Don't make an excuse to not do what you need to do, because we're 24 right now, and while we're making excuses and while we think we have so much time, that time is running up. Off the strength, 10 years ago, how old were we? We were 14 years old. So the simple fact that now it's about to be like, oh, I still got time in front of me. No, do that time now. So at least that time in front of you to set yourself up for something. Get your mind and get your physical right. If you get it right now, by the time we are 30, we're good. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to talk about. Number 15, last but not least, you need to understand that it was not your fault. It is not your fault. And at the end of the day, whatever you have to go through that makes you have to heal again, it was not your fault. It was part of your journey. It was part for you to learn, to heal, and to grow. The only thing that I will fault you for is if you know that you're going through something and you know you're acting erratically, and you know that your attitude and your disposition in life is really effed up and you're not doing anything about it. Then that's when the implication, that's when everything starts to fall on you, because now you know. When you start moving in ignorance, it kind of makes you look really, because off the strength, you know what you're supposed to be doing, but it's like you're kind of pushing it away. It's like you need to grow up. You need to grow out of that and just grow up. A lot of people don't really understand that, but with healing means you need to grow up. Unfortunately, you need to heal because childish shit. As you grow up, you won't have to heal no more because I got boundaries. At the end of the day, you just need to realize it was never your fault. In the beginning, it was never your fault. It's only going to be your fault if at the end you still didn't change and you didn't learn anything. You never healed yourself. Because at the end of the day, what did that happen to you for? And the worst part is it's going to keep happening over and over and over and over again. If you keep being in that cycle, you'll stay in that cycle. Those were basically 5 things that you can do to really start healing yourself organically, or these are things that you can start doing to heal yourself by yourself. But now I'm going to get into how you can heal yourself by hopping around. Now, first things first, no matter if it's a relationship, if it's a friendship, a situationship, it doesn't matter. text other people. You need to get them off your brain. You need to get them out of your atmosphere. You need to be in around a circumference of different people. With that being said, you will want to be around a circumference of different people so you can have a perspective of different lifestyles. You can see how people can navigate different parts of their lives, and you could probably take key into what they did. So now if something happened was to you like that, then you'll be able to know. 1, 2, you will also not be so constrained and so heartbroken about what happened. You won't just keep replaying it over and over and over in your brain. You have somebody new to talk to, which means they're going to give you a new vibe, a new experience, which means you got to be thinking completely differently. And then it just really make you grow up and grow out of some stuff, because you don't care no more. You know what I'm trying to say? Because you're texting other people and people is actually respecting you and your boundaries. It really makes you forget about them. The second thing that you can do, this kind of coincides with the first thing, also hang out with different people. You will want to hang out and not just talk over the phone and text over the phone off the strength, because when you hang out, you get an actual personal one-on-one conversation or personal one-on-one type of intimate vibe with them. You get to really see how they are in person. You get to see what they talk about, what they don't talk about, how they move, what they don't move about, how they like to think. When you get to actually meet somebody in person, it's really a good vibe and it's a good feeling. And then it's also somebody new. It's never good to just stay in the house and never to really meet anybody new, to expand your horizons off the strength, because too much of anything is never good, and too much of being in the house, you will start to not know what's going on in the world. That's kind of what happened to me a little bit. I stayed in the house a little bit too much, so now I have to bring myself out, because I don't want to be too sheltered in, and I don't want to be too out of tune on what's going on. Definitely make sure that once you're definitely texting these people, if they have a good enough vibe over texting, definitely link with these people. Now, I can't necessarily say this actual word, but you need to have happiness over everything. You don't want to be constricted or confined to that one person. You was almost just ready to be constricted to that one person. You don't want to keep going through that, and then you have to keep healing. Do you have to do boundaries? No, you want to jump around, so whoever is trying to play with you, then it's like, okay, no. But now when you go to the next person, it's like, you thought you could play with me? They can't even get that far. Unfortunately, at this point, it is going to be not sadness, but it's going to be a lot of trial and error. Try with this one, no. Try with that one, no. Try with him, try with her, try with this, try with that, move here. It's going to be a lot of trial and error in this part. In trial and error, you get to really come into you. You get to really understand you. You get to really be comfortable with going around. So now you get to really ease off your vibe a little bit more easier than most, or easier than you would have at least. Fourth thing that you can do, don't attach to nobody. I know when you start meeting these new people, you start linking with them and stuff like that, they might have a cool vibe, they might have a chill spirit, this, that, and the third. Don't attach yourself to nobody, because you don't know how nobody can move. Unfortunately, I don't want to say nobody's your friend, because I don't want that perspective or that reality, but a lot of people don't have the best intentions for you. So it's best to just stay clear and just to keep it neutral, and then as time, bring them in, but don't just reel them in all at once. Kind of like almost bring them in like once by one. It's like a layer to an onion. Peel back the layer. They can't just get all of it. Don't attach yourself to nobody, because I also feel like the moment that you attach yourself to somebody, unfortunately, now you have expectations for people. Since you was around certain people, you kind of have expectations, which means you would think that they shouldn't cross that boundary. But at the end of the day, you have to realize you don't know how the next person grew up, so you don't know what their morals and their standards are. Unfortunately, you can't really attach yourself to anybody, nobody in that matter, off the strip, because you don't know expectations. And once you have expectations, it's because you almost in a way let a boundary down, and so when they let you down, it's like, damn bitch, I can't believe you do that, because you would never do that. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like you're breaking your heart before it gets broken. Once you start attaching yourself to people and they actually let your heart down, at that point, that's when you have to start healing again, because it's like, damn, it's like almost a boundary that was crossed because you would never do it. But it's like you would have to realize that, damn, at the end of the day, she grew up that way, so she probably didn't even know about X, Y, and Z. You knew about X, Y, and Z because you was taught differently, you was brought up differently. So not least, number 5 thing, explore and don't settle. Don't settle until you really found the person for you, the person that you really just vibe with, the person that you really could connect with. I'm talking about for friend and family. Just don't settle because, oh, okay, whatever. Don't settle because, oh, this is my hometown. Don't settle because, oh, I know her. Don't settle, because once you start settling, that means you have to settle for yourself. And if you have high expectations, like if you're watching my channel, then you're not gonna settle, because the first point or the first time that you settle, then now everything else is gonna settle, and you're gonna have a very not high maintenance life. And you want a high maintenance life because maybe you just don't want the bare minimum. People that's not high maintenance get the bare minimum. It is what it is. It's either you're gonna be up here or you're gonna be down here. It's really no in between. So with that being said, I would definitely just say explore, don't settle. Explore off the strength, because you're different piece to everybody pot. But I would definitely say don't settle, because you don't know what's in a pot. Especially in your early 20s, kind of like towards 27, 28, maybe. But don't settle. Explore, have fun. So these were like basically the tips that I found out over the few years that I kind of figured would kind of help me or kind of help you, because it helped me. So if you like any of my healing tips, leave me one healing tip in the comments below. And then if you like this video, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a straight gorilla with it, cold-hearted killer with it. Any nigga getting out of line.